What's up, NFT.NYC? You guys are the last remaining DJs on day 2. How are you guys doing? Good, great. My name is Matt Steffanina. As she said, I'm a choreographer and a DJ, which is why my voice is gone, because I've been DJing the last couple of days, and you guys can really party. But I only have a few minutes. I want to talk about 2 things really quick. The first one, which you've probably heard a lot about the last few days, is IP. And we discuss IP a lot in Web3. Usually we talk about it with music, maybe with digital art. But I really want to get dance into this conversation of IP, because if you ask anyone who choreographed Michael Jackson's music video Thriller, does anyone know? No. And if you ask how much did that choreographer make in the last 40 years since that movie or since that music video came out, the answer is 0. Because he owns no intellectual property. He does not own the choreography. He was paid a rate to choreograph that video, and then it lives on forever, streaming on television, people recreate it in movies, in shows, in live events, and he doesn't have any access to that IP. So what we want to do in Web3 is create a way for that choreography to be logged and then licensed, the same way that whenever your favorite artist's song plays in the grocery store or it plays in a movie, they're getting a cut, the writer gets a cut, the producer gets a cut, and they get credited in the film. We want to do that with dance. But dance is subjective, so it's a little bit more difficult. Like, if I do this, and then you do it slightly different, you might say, well, that's not the same thing. And with motion capture technology and a lot of things that we're building in Web3, we're going to be able to bridge that gap and say that, no, that was inspired by this, and it's one and the same. And if you want to use this move on your character in your metaverse, you have to get it from this choreographer that created it. So we're going to be able to connect IP back to the creators the same way we would in music. The second thing that I want to do is get Web3 dancing. Make some noise. So I started dancing at 17, which is a terrible idea if you're trying to be a professional dancer. Most people start dancing at 3, 5, 6. But I started dancing because I was terrified of dancing. I'd be at school dances, I wouldn't dance. I'd be at a wedding, I wouldn't dance. Terrified. And I decided at 17 that I wanted to learn a few moves so that when I was at a party next time, I could get up and dance. And as I started my journey and I started to share this story, people all over my communities, from athletic things I was doing, I was a huge nerd, so I was like in gaming deep. Everyone shared the same sentiment, like, oh yeah, I always wanted to learn how to dance, but I'm not gonna go to a dance studio, like, embarrassing, right? And so I finally moved to LA, and the first thing I did when I moved to LA is I started posting tutorials on YouTube for free. Learn how to moonwalk, learn how to pop, learn how to go in slow motion, anything you could imagine, choreography. And people started to tell me these stories of, I always wanted to learn how to dance. I started with your tutorials. Now I own a dance studio. Now I started a dance company. Now I'm in this crew. Now I'm more confident. Now I'm happier. Now I've made friends that I never would have otherwise made. And I realized that not only for my life, but for so many others, dance was a way to improve your overall lifestyle, your physical health, your mental health, your confidence. I've seen a lot on Twitter recently, people talking about going out and touching grass. Has anybody seen those tweets? Everyone's like, hey, get outside, touch some grass. Well, maybe we should start dancing on some grass. I think that would be a level up, you know. Let's go dance on some grass. Dance is like air. We need it. And the point is, whether or not you're a dancer, it doesn't matter. Every one of us is here at NFT.NYC. We're all at events at night. You don't have to go out and do a head spin or a backflip or a split. If you can do that, good for you. But every one of us should be able to get out on a dance floor, feel comfortable, have fun with our friends, and connect with a community. And so the goal of the NFT project that I've been working on for the last year is to teach Web3 how to dance. and to bring the dance community, which historically has been very behind on tech and innovation because we're creatives, and bring them into this space and kind of marry these two, artists and tech, entrepreneurs and creatives, and bring them into the same room and let them have conversations, because we can learn a lot from each other. A lot of the people that we're collecting art from now have no background in business. Like when I was buying my first NFTs, I was buying from artists that I'd looked up to for years, like Mad Dog Jones and Beeple and Fuckrender and all these people that I just been watching their stuff on Instagram, and now they had an outlet to actually reach their collectors. They had an outlet to build a community of people that loved their work. And so we want to do the same thing for the dance community, because dance is what really inspired me to do everything that I do today. Even to be up here talking to you guys comfortably and confidently. I didn't go to business school. I dropped out. I went for like 3 days, but I didn't finish. But the point is that through Web3, we can not only have dance tutorials, we can have live events. If any of you guys been here, been to VCon, you understand the power of community and live events. And we want to do it through an NFT project. So on the community side, it's not just bringing people together in a Discord, it's actually teaching them how to do something. So I'm going to teach you guys the first dance that I ever learned. You don't even have to stand up, but you're just going to follow me. Do like this. Put your hands together like this. So this is an example of a style called tutting. And I taught this dance to my grandmother about 10 years ago. She was like, I want to learn a dance move. And you know, she had arthritis. All her joints weren't working so great. So I was like, Grandma, I got one for you. And I taught her that dance, and she did it every time I saw her, up until the day she passed. Every time I saw her, she would show me that dance. She's like, I still remember it. And that's really the power of dance, right? If you can come out here and do a bunch of choreography, amazing. But we can all connect through movement, through simple styles like that. And one of the things that I think is really important in the project is having these types of tutorials so that when we do meet in real life, you have something to connect with. You could say, hey, did you learn the, you know, well, you know, maybe we'll start easier than that. But that's the general concept, right? The last piece of it is the art. I'm really passionate about motion capture and animation. I had the privilege to work on some video games like Just Dance and Uncharted, if there's any Mad Dog fans in the house. And games like Fortnite, where dance is very prevalent in those games. And so by taking motion capture choreography and putting it onto avatars and creating original music and putting effects on it and all of the things that we're not able to do in the physical realm, there's a lot of things that we're going to be able to do to not only push the NFT space forward with dance, but actually the entire dance space. We're going to be able to create jobs for dancers. We're going to be able to create jobs for animators that have never experienced what it's like to take a character that normally runs or punches or kicks, and now he has to do an entire wavy freestyle, right? So my time is about to be up, but I want to say, first of all, thank you guys for being here this evening, and to look out for it. It's the type of project where it's going to be very accessible. We want the community to be involved, and it's probably going to be around the end of this year. So hopefully I'll see you guys around. Hopefully I'll see you at an after party. If you do come to an after party and I'm there, please hit this dance for me one time. But thank you guys so much. My name is Matt Steffanina.